We are back with our GMA cover story. A young woman whose stroke was actually caught on camera. Dr. Taryn Neruli here with her story. What a story it is.
Another story with a camera. Good morning, George. Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke, and more than 50% of those patients who don't survive are women. It's something I see in my office all too often, and this young woman is making it her mission to help others recognize the symptoms and to help save lives. As an active, healthy 38-year-old, suffering a stroke was not on Krista Figari's radar.
A stroke was the last thing I ever expected.
But all that changed when she awoke one morning last April, and it was all caught on a nanny cam.
What I recall is that I woke up, was making my bed, and then I turned around to start walking towards the bathroom. And when I turned, there was no balance. I couldn't stand, and I just fell, started tumbling over to the side, and then I felt like I blacked out for a second and was just on the floor.
The stroke, which occurs when blood flow to the brain is interrupted, affected her entire left side. Approximately 795,000 strokes occur every year in the U.S., and they are on the rise. About 10 to 14% of strokes occur in those under the age of 50.
I literally could not move my leg at all. It was like it was dead. Same with my arm. Even just trying to pull myself up was impossible. I just was like, what's happening? I need help.
Helpless and confused, Krista was somehow able to use Siri to call 911. Her quick action may have saved her life.
So stroke is treatable, but there's a very short time window where we're able to treat it safely with the clot-busting medications we use.
Even though Krista woke up with the stroke, doctors were able to pinpoint the time it started using a rapid MRI machine. Luckily, she had gotten to the hospital in time, and the clot-busting drugs worked within 15 minutes. Doctors eventually diagnosed Krista with a PFO, a hole in the heart that's likely responsible for 10% of strokes in young people.
Trust your gut. If I didn't trust the fact that something was really wrong, I could be in a very, very different situation right now.
Krista's story is one example of how acting fast can literally make the difference between life and death.
So what are the signs that people have to watch out for?
Well, there's a great mnemonic called B FAST. So if you think of each letter, the B stands for balance. So if you feel off balance, you can't walk right, that's something to pay attention to. The E is eyes. You have trouble with your vision, either blurry or double. F stands for face. So if your face is drooping on one side or numb. The A is for arms. It could also be legs, but numbness or weakness on one side of the arms or legs. S is speech. If your speech is garbled, people can't understand you. And the T is time. So it's time to act fast. We say time is brain. Why? Because 1.9 million brain cells die every minute that goes by before you get treated for a stroke.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and the fact that I wouldn't even thought to use Siri to call.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, she had the upper lock on her
one.
door locked, so the landlord couldn't even get in. He had to come in through the fire escape. So thank God she had Siri, and they really called 911.
That's right. How about this study? It's called what? Digital dementia, where it has some kind of tech use has impact over time with our memory?
Right. So we're seeing sort of the first digital pioneers, people who are over age 50 exposed to computers, phones, tablets, screens. And the question is that going to be bad or good, right? Would that lead to dementia or maybe have a positive effect? And so in this study, they looked at 57 other studies, over 400,000 adults over the age of 50, and they in fact found that they were 42% less likely to develop dementia or cognitive impairment. Now, before you go rushing to grab a device or a screen, it's important to note that they didn't look at what type of screen or device they used. They didn't look at how long they used it. And the other thing is this is a different population from the younger generation now that's really born into using screens. Their brains were already older and formed. That being said, it's reassuring, and it also tells us once again that use in moderation is probably okay. And also, Lara, you and I talked about with kids, but it's the same concept. If you're using it for something creative that's intellectually stimulating, to build social connection, then there might be value. Exactly.
Right.
So
if you're not just dead scrolling.
If you're doing Wordle or connections or
Sudoku,
or meeting with family and friends on Zoom, as we saw during COVID. So very interesting though.
Very, very. All right.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Be fast.
Be fast.
Never
Yes.
forget that.
That's right.